To make a perfect size loop takes a bit of practice. A perfect size loop for wire wrapping should be round at the top and centered straight down. Now, the type of wire we would need to make a loop is called jewelry making wire, yeah, and it's 22 gauge. That just means the width of the wire, half hard. So it's easy to make mistakes with making wire loops, but that's fine because you can correct it. You can either cut it off or you can correct it. So the kind of jewelry making pliers you'll need is like a flush cutters, just to cut the wire, round nose pliers. You might need jaw pliers. You may need chain nose pliers, and you'll need some flat nose pliers. And these are the round nose pliers, and I've put a blob of Tipp-Ex here so that this is only so that when you're making your hoops at the top here, that they're all the same size, so you can keep to that size of loop. But you can use what size you want, up from here to there if you're making a few. But if you're going to make a few of the same one, you should just put a Tipp-Ex mark there so you can make the loop. So you can make the loop here. So mistake number one with this one, as you can see, it's too squashed. So you can either cut it off with flush cutters, or if you just want to practice, you can just correct this one. So how would you correct it? Well, first you'll pick up your round nose pliers. First you pick up your round nose pliers, and then you would grip here to open it. So we'd open it and start again and get that kink out. I think I'll pick up my jaw pliers and get the kink out. Now, please bear in mind, when you're doing a lot of this manipulating of like trying to get the groove out, try and get this bump out the wire, I'm going to kind of press it to get rid of it. Now I might need to straighten the wire a bit, so this could weaken the wire, so just keep that in mind. But I just want to get this kink out, and it could weaken the wire, but so you just go at your own risk. So try and minimize that. I'll try and flatten it a bit. My jaw pliers, or if not my jaw pliers, then I'd use my flat nose pliers. Just kind of straighten it out. So it's almost straight now. The slight kink. And I'll pick up my jaw pliers if you've got any, and just kind of try and get rid of the kink. But bearing in mind, don't overdo it because it does weaken the wire. So, but I mean, you could just have a little practice. I mean, these jaw pliers does kind of strengthen the wire. But when you make a loop again, the loop and the wire could be a little bit weak. So sometimes I would take my flat nose pliers and put it in there and just put it in here and just kind of flatten it a bit. Just get it a bit flat. And then after I've straightened it enough, I would about an inch. I have about an inch sticking out. And then I'll pick up my flat nose pliers and bend it to the right. And then I'll pick up my round nose pliers. Remember to go to where that little mark is with my Tipp-Ex. There is it there. And start gently turning it. Gently turning it, keeping my thumb here to perfect the wire. Keeping my thumb here and turning it. Now it's a bit too much as a P shape, so I'll go back in. Keeping my thumb here and turn it like that. Keep that bit straight. and then go back in to gently wiggle and go back in to close the wire and turn it in so it's more rounder, better than how it looked before. We can obviously see what's wrong with this one. This one has just been turned too much. So with this one, we would just all have to do is just open it by a plate. I would just put my round nose pliers in, grip it and just open it like that. Just get this opened. And then I pick up my flat nose pliers and just try and straighten it out. And just straighten it out like that. Giving it a press. Sometimes I just press it like that, so that the wire is nearly straight. And then I'll pick up my jaw pliers, just kind of straighten it out a bit, but not overdo it because it can weaken the loop, so not going to overdo it. But it's almost straight now, so I do the same thing. See, have about a centimetre. Measure about a centimetre. All right. Pick up my flat nose pliers, bend it, then pick up my round nose pliers, go into where that mark is, and gently turning it, keeping my thumb there until I make a loop, a nice central loop at the top. Go back to where that mark is and then just close it. Just straighten the wire. It looks much better than how it did before. So with this one, it's too much of a P. It's more of a P shape. And remember that you want it to be central and at the top. So with this one, it's a bit more easier to straighten. I would just pick up my flat nose pliers, grip under the loop, and then bring this straight bit here. Just bring it more. And then I'll flatten here and just bring it more downwards. So the loop is opened. So all I do is pick up my round nose pliers, and gently wiggle it together. Just gently bring it together. So now this loop is much more central. And as for this one, it's not bad, but the loop needs to close. So we will just go in with our round nose pliers at the bottom of the loop, go inside and gently move it to close it. It's going to make the loop a bit more P-shaped, so we just go in and bring it across. And then close it again. And we just close it like that. And I like to straighten down here. So that's another, so that's much more improvement than how it was before. And as for this one, it's not round enough. So we'd go back in with our round nose pliers And then I think I'd go further up to make a larger hoop, grip there, keep my thumb here, and then gently bring it round. I gently go in to bring it round. Then I would press the head and move the tail of the wire. And then just bring it in to close it a bit. Grip here and close it like that. And bring it in like that. And straighten down here. So you can see it's much more better. The loop is closed, nice and straight down here and nice and central up here. So if you've got any comments or questions, pop them down below. And I'll link another video for more wire practicing.